Carving will lay the down. I just kiss me, baby. And tell me twice that you're the one for me. Yeah. The way you make me feel, you really turn me on. You knock me off of my feet now, baby. My lonely days are gone.
Welcome to the Virtual Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the Suzette Veneti Show. Please welcome to your screen, Suzette Veneti.
Hey everybody, it's 5:03. It's Sunday, May 9th, and that means it's time for the Suzette Veneti Show. It is Sunday the 9th of May, which means if you have plans for the 4th of July, why? You don't even know if it's happening yet. It's May. Calm down. Just be patient. Okay, hi. Here we go. Let's get into the show. Michael Vick recently took part in a charity event where he ran along with other celebrities and former NFL stars, the 40-yard dash. Vick stunned everybody by running his 40-yard dash in a blistering 4.74 seconds, which is ridiculous for a 41-year-old man. But I'm like, of course he ran fast. He's trying to outrun his past. Bill and Melinda Gates are divorcing. Seems there were irreconcilable differences. She forwarded those stupid emails to all of her friends, and he did not pay her millions per email. So she's divorcing him and taking half of the billions. China is facing criticism for sending a massive rocket into space and not giving a fuck where the rocket debris hit. When the debris re-entered the atmosphere last Sunday, most of it burned up and some of it made its way all the way back to Earth and luckily, not by design, landed in the ocean. While the rest of the world is like, hey, China, be more careful, please? China's like, quit stressing. We knew it wouldn't hit China. Facebook upheld its Trump ban, so Trump decided he was going to create his own social media platform and basically came out with a blog. Conservatives always say they'll do things that they think are really cool without realizing how hard those things are to accomplish. So, like, Trump thought he'd come out with, like, the next Facebook, but then he just basically started a Zynga account. Kind of like how when Republicans think they'll find these awesome celebrities to perform at the inauguration and the events, and then really they just end up with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, Trace Adkins, and the Talladega College Tornado Marching Band. Customs and Border Protection seized 3 pounds or $40,000 in cocaine from the shoes of a woman traveling through Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport last Sunday. Sources say the woman would have gotten away with it, except she kept making these jokes to the flight crew about how she was flying high, and then eventually the flight crew was like, well, she's not a dad, so she can't be dad joking, so maybe her cheesy pun means something more. And they looked into it, and sure enough, she had $40,000 worth of cocaine in her shoes. Kentucky Derby winner Medina Spirit tested positive for a banned substance. Trainer Bob Baffert called the positive result the biggest gut punch in horse racing history. The losing horses that are in line for the glue factory would like to disagree that is the biggest gut punch in horse racing history. Okay, buckle in. That one was awkward. This next one's even more awkward. But this is news, and that's my job, because I made it my job. Again, super awkward joke. Josh Duggar, a former reality star, was charged by the Department of Justice for possessing child pornography. If you can't remember which show Duggar was on, it only gets worse when you find out that TLC did indeed cancel his show, 19 Kids and Counting. 3 Colorado police officers have resigned after body cam footage shows them shoving a 73-year-old woman with dementia to the ground. Their chief, Tom Biddlestein, said, "I'm glad they resigned. I was going to have to fire them. They pushed a white woman, and we just can't let that happen." Colorado police. Disgraced homecoming queen and soon-to-be felon Emily Grover is being charged as an adult for rigging a vote for her school's prom queen election. Grover and her mother, Laura Carroll, used the mother's district access to cast thousands of fake votes for the then 17-year-old prom queen. First off, all the fake votes came from the same IP address, so like, doy, cheat better. Secondly, this is the state where police said George Zimmerman didn't do anything wrong, and now they're throwing the books at a girl that cheated to be prom queen? So, like, Florida, get your priorities straight. Staying in Florida, Orange County courts have decided that the waterways have rights and can therefore file lawsuits against housing developments to stop them from building on waterways. The new law in Orange County, Florida, secures the rights of the waterways to exist, flow, and be protected against pollution and be allowed to maintain a healthy ecosystem. Republicans are attempting to either figure out how to block the water from voting or allow the water to vote in general elections based on if it flows left or right. And finally, a magnitude 4.2 earthquake hit 2 miles from Truckee, California, which made everyone else in California say, hold on, wait, where's Truckee? And with that, we're going to get right to my contributors. Going to be a short show, but it's a good thing that this guy brings tea because there's something little in my throat and I could use some tea right now. So we're going to talk some tea with one of my favorite people, one of my favorite contributors, and someone that I dearly love and enjoy having on the show. Please give it up for Clifton Ellison.
Hey, Suzette, how you doing?
How are you?
Exhausted, but I'm good. I had a 12-hour workday yesterday, and I was reminded that I'm not a spring chicken. A bitch was tired this morning. You know, I did my regular job, and then Stella got her groove back yesterday, and then after that, I DJ'd for the girls at Badlands, and then I didn't really get to sleep until about 3:30 this morning because I stayed up watching What's Love Got to Do with It and quoting it word for word because I saw it was just on. Granted, I have the DVD, but I have a weird coping mechanism for sleep. I like to find something random on Hulu that like I've seen before, so I don't have to really pay attention to it. And then I put my sleep timer on, and so I was playing that. And then I find myself quoting it word for word, everybody's line, Jennifer Lewis, Angela Bassett, everybody's line. And then that movie still makes you hate Lawrence Fishburne for like 20 minutes because, you know, he plays Ike a little too well.
You know what? I don't like Lawrence Fishburne solely for what he did to CSI. So, but go on.
Ooh. See, you're venturing onto, that's my granny show right there. Shout out to Grandma. How you doing? But
I am older than I appear.
She loves CSI.
I do.
But speaking of biopics and documentaries, did you hear that Hulu is releasing a miniseries about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee from when that sex tape came out?
Wow. Okay. I mean, I know
it's so random.
I thought we saw it all, but yeah. Okay. Sure.
So Lily James, Lily James is playing Pamela Anderson, and then Sebastian Stan, who plays the Winter Soldier in the Marvel universe, is playing Tommy Lee. And they released pictures of them, and I was just like, whoa, like they really look like them. And you know, for women of a particular age like me and yourself, I remember that was the tape back in the day. Like that was the OG, like before Kim, before all the girls and the OnlyFans and everything like that. Like that was the standard back then. And you know, you could tell they did it because they wanted to do it. They didn't do it because they were trying to get famous because they were already famous. You know, she had Baywatch. She was the Tool Girl on Home Improvement. She was that girl back then.
Right.
And Tommy Lee was in Motley Crue, and you know, that's all I can say because there's children watching the show though. But if you get my drift, but I'm interested to see how they do it because you know a lot of these shows about big things that happened in the 90s have been really good. Like, did you watch the O.J. Simpson trial show?
I did.
It was really good, and it's weird because I don't remember half the shit I did yesterday, but I remember exactly where I was when all these things happened. Even though I was only 9 or 10 years old, but I remember every single detail. And then when I see that, it's just like, damn, bitch, I'm old. Well, no, I'm not old. I'm seasoned, but you know.
So I pulled up the pictures. I will say that I'm more impressed by Sebastian Stan's transformation than, I mean, Lily James looks great, but I happen to hang around a couple of people every week that wear a bit of makeup. And with enough makeup, you know, and a wig, I mean, she looks good. It's just I'm not as like stunned. That's all.
Well, I mean, Ryan Murphy could have called you and you could have played Pamela.
I could have. I'd be a really good Pamela.
We just got to boost your titties up a little bit, but look, I wish y'all could see Chelsea's face right now because her face is sending me right now. She's like, bitch, stop gassing Suzette up like that.
Yes, all the time. Every time I do a show with Chelsea, sometimes streaming, but always in person, I always check my titties against hers. And she's like, it's almost like, Chelsea clearly does not mind hurting feelings, but it's not that. It's beyond that. She's just like, what are you even trying to do? Why are you doing this right now? Like, almost like, have you ever seen like an NBA player and they're playing like pickup with like a 10-year-old and the 10-year-old shoots and the NBA player like blocks and it's not even like, it's like, well, yeah, you're a professional. Chelsea is a professional, like boobs to the chin, and I am a 10-year-old.
Or it's kind of like when you're playing Mortal Kombat against like your 6-year-old cousin and you're kind of going easy on them, let them get a couple hits in. And then you're like, okay, I'm gonna let you win the first round just to give you some confidence. But then I'm gonna knock that shit out of you in the second round. And then the third round, I'm gonna let you get a couple hits in, and then I'm gonna do the whole combo on you. And then I'm gonna give you a fatality because I'm teaching you life lessons that you need to step it up, and you need to learn the buttons too. You can't just keep button mashing. You got to learn the buttons. You got to press pause and get the right moves and everything like that. So then next time it'll be a fair fight. So
No, it's never going to be a fair fight with me and Chelsea. She posted a picture. You saw the picture. She was at brunch.
Yeah.
And the first thing I noticed, because I was feeling good about all this today, I'm like, okay, they're up, they're looking good, they're looking, better than 37 years old can look. And then Chelsea's, it's not even like her boobs are just, they're blocking me. They're where I should be, I'm not, because her boobs are there. You can see me smiling over them.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So remember last week we talked about the drag race drama with Tamisha Iman and Bob the Drag Queen. So I'm a little conflicted about this because, I like mess. Most gay men and people in general, they like mess. So I was waiting with bated breath on Tuesday for the mess. Girl, it was a bait and switch.
Well, first off, before we go any further, because I want to hear about the bait and switch, I just want to say before I forget, everybody likes mess. Gay men are just honest about liking the mess.
Bam, there we go. That's the realest shit I heard all day. Because honestly, mess kind of makes the world go round, and there will be a lot of professions that would not be open if it wasn't for mess. I wouldn't be here talking right now if it wasn't for mess.
Oh yeah, we all love mess.
And you wouldn't be here because if there's no mess, there won't be a hot mess.
I am mess. Yeah. We just need we need a Chelsea reaction cam at some point.
Because I wish you guys could see her face right now because she is just killing me right now. But so what happened with Tamisha Iman was, so we get to Tuesday and I'm like, okay, where is it? It's time. I got the laptop ready, got my edible, got my drink and everything like that. I'm thinking I'm expecting to get some good shit. So then she's like, oh, I'm releasing my own channel, the TamishaIman.com. For $25. You can get all the tea directly from her mouth. And I was just like, bitch, I don't even pay $25 to see my favorite porn stars fuck on OnlyFans. I don't even pay $25 for Disney, Hulu, WWE. What's the other subscription I got? And on World of Wonder. I had all that together. That still ain't $25. So I'm all like, are you going to be like giving me like a personalized drag show with my favorite song? Are you going to do Drag Queen Suicide on there or something like that? But then I had to step outside of my own thoughts because I was like, okay, let me read this real quick. So basically, when you go on RuPaul's Drag Race, you sign a contract. And with that contract, there is an NDA in there. You can't say certain things. And also, too, if you go on there, even if you don't win, this new contract says that you are contractually bound by World of Wonder for, I believe, 5 years. So they can call you and be like, hey, we need a cameo for Drag Race season 72. We need you to come in here. We need you to come here for this. We need you to come here and do that. We need you to, and you got to drop your shit and you got to go because you are contractually obligated. And also, too, you can't talk about the production. You can't talk about the editing. You can't talk about so many things. But granted, this contract has changed through the years because I wouldn't say I personally know, but I'm kind of close to a couple of contestants, and it was different on the earlier seasons. But then once it got bigger and it went to VH1 and got really huge, the contract also got a little bit more, how can I say this?
Comprehensive.
Lou Pearlman Pebbles, like, you know what I'm saying? Kind of a little shady. And so basically Tamisha Iman was saying, like, the powers that be, I can't say this on YouTube, but if I put a paywall up, then I can kind of say what happened without saying what happened. And basically what happened is that there are a lot of queens that you think about all the queens that have been on the show that you don't hear from and you don't see from anymore. Like, there are so many girls that you see them on the season, they get the chop, like 7th, 8th place, don't hear from them ever again. It's because they don't play by the politics of what's going on with the production. And it's kind of fascinating what's going on in that. And so basically she's bringing a lot of those girls that have kind of been pushed to the side onto her platform. So for me, for a second, I was like $25, but then I was also like, okay, she's giving these girls a portion of the money that she's getting from this and paying them because they're not getting booked. You know, a lot of the girls are starving right now because there's no clubs to work at because a lot of places are still shut down. And if you're not like top 5 of your season, you're not really getting the calls like Jujubee or Raven or Latrice Royale or any of like the bigger name girls are. So I'm kind of, you know, I tip my hat off to Tamisha for that. The bait and switch, though, was a little like, girl, but she is going to talk to Monet and Bob with the moderator on there. So I'm also kind of like, you know what? $25, that's a couple of cocktails. I'll throw it at you just to see what the tea is because I'm messy and I'm nosy like that too. So, you know, we'll see, and I will definitely report back to you with what I see after I watch this. But, you know, some homosexual will probably screen record it and put it on YouTube the next day. So there's that. I could just wait for that too. But, you know, try to support the girls if I can.
Okay, but a question for you. And I'm going to ask Chelsea because she also watches Drag Race, and then she was at brunch today, and you've come to brunch quite a bit. $25 you get a little bit better from local drag than you do $25 from something like this bait and switch, right?
You really do, because you're right there.
Right.
We know you. We see you. We know where it's going. We know, like, I'm giving you a tip because I'm enjoying you. I don't know where that money's going. For all I know, that money could be going to her wig fund or something like that. We don't know.
Oh, look,
we don't know.
I'm just saying, if a queen has a wig fund and Liz is where the wigs are getting done, it's okay. That's okay. We like that.
Yeah. But, you know, hey, you got to do what we got to do because, I mean, granted, things are opening up here, but a lot of places are still closed. And honestly, this goes back to when we were talking about the young man from The Bachelor, the homosexual that came out on The Bachelor, and Netflix giving him a show. Honestly, I really think Netflix dropped the ball on that. What they should do, they need to call Tabitha up and call some drag queens up and have a bar rescue show, because there are so many gay spaces that have not survived this pandemic.
Okay.
Shit.
That's not
a
wrong.
a lot of our spaces are holding on by a thread right now, you know, and I think that money going to a man that came out on The Bachelor, that could have been used to keep some gay spaces open. You paying this man millions of dollars to hoe on Netflix just because you're newly out and you want to be a hoe. Girl, you could be a hoe. Go to Palm Springs, go to PDL, do your thing, whatever like that though. But keep me out of it. I don't care. But there are a lot of spaces and a lot of gay bartenders, servers, drag queens, barbacks, doormen, so many people that don't have spaces to go back to. You know, it's real out there. And honestly, if I had the pool and the money to do it, I would definitely watch that show, you know? But
yeah.
money talks and so does mess, so.
It does, but what can you do except keep supporting the local spaces when you can?
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly why even though I'm exhausted and I'm tired right now, I so enjoyed working last night because playing the music there brings butts in there. Bringing butts in there keeps the lights on in there. Keeping the lights on there makes sure that we still have drag queens and a space for the local gays to go to, you know? So
it is a very valuable thing to have not only just a space, but also for all the people working there, all the performers, everybody, like you said, from the door guy to the bartenders to the drag queens performing on the stage. It is a livelihood, and this pandemic has hurt us all. So we've all been trying to figure out ways to do it. So thank you for doing what you can to keep people coming into the club.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, I'm trying to be optimistic because I do see a light at the end of this really long, shitty tunnel we've been in. And hopefully by September, we'll have a dance floor again and we can dance and twirl and...
Oh, by June.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I can look at the people be a mess and try to dance on the dance floor again. Hopefully the girls don't try to do TikTok dance moves on the dance floor. I don't want to see a whole bunch of air traffic control looking dances. What is this? What is this? Like, no.
I just want to point out that is not how I dance.
That's not. I'm thankful that you don't do the TikTok dances because I feel like TikTok dances make the most rhythmic person look stiff as hell. Look like a stiff wig out of a box. Just very like, what is this? Like, well, I don't understand. I'm too old for it. It's not my thing. But you guys go off, have fun. But I'm a clown them when I see them try to do that shit on the box, falling off the go-go box on a Saturday. You know,
yeah.
When a drunk gay falls off a go-go box on a Saturday, that's when we know the world is back to where it needs to be.
Well, I think we're very close.
We're very close. We're almost there. Just got to be patient.
Just a little bit longer.
Suzette, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on, Clifton.
Charged, and I am going to continue drinking and watching you guys. But thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. As always, thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yes.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Peers and Queers, that was Clifton Ellison. His information was below. You can tip in, you can follow him, you can send him some coin. Also, above my pretty little head is the information for Stab Comedy Theater. Send them some coin, give them a follow, support. So it's not just the people working, it's also some of these venues. Support the venue, please. Thank you. With that, we're going to get to somebody who supported me today by coming to Drag Brunch. One of my favorite people. Also, the headliner in my comedy show on May 23rd. And just an all-around delightful person with the best boobies. Please give it up for Chelsea Bearce.
Yes.
How are you?
Up, bitch?
Yeah.
How are you?
You know, a little hot, a little tired, but the day goes on.
We really need to work on that wig. I can't with this. I can't. Yeah. Sorry. Oh my God. What, you had a long day? You did multiple shows? What, bitch? Let's talk about it. You're in Sacramento. It's 100 degrees. I get it.
It is.
Put on a bandana. Damn. It is rough. I'm shopping right now. I'm shopping for clothes right now. Look at this. I hate this shit, like shopping for clothes. I'm like, all these bitches have tiny ass waists. I'm like, where's the I had a baby cut out of my stomach clothes? Like, that's what I need right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's driving me crazy. They look all cute. I don't look like that. It's just annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I have not had a baby, but I will also
Thank
say,
God. Thank God.
I will also say, sometimes I see those. They're like the model is 5'10" and 114 pounds, and wearing a
Right.
size 2, and I'm like, cool. What would I wear? Because it's not that.
Right.
Like
I
much
know.
shorter,
So it's
but
just,
bigger.
it's those. I do get duped by like advertisements for clothes a lot, you know, because they do put them in poses, you know, and stuff like that. And then I have to remember that I have to wear like multiple bras. So it's like, you're going to see this if it's a racer back or, you know, spaghetti strap shit. Like, it's like spaghetti straps and me, no. The spaghetti straps will cut right through my skin. Like, I mean, no, because the weight that I'm carrying around is legit.
Substantial.
It's substantial.
Yes.
So I did come to brunch today. Are we talking about this?
Yeah, we're going to talk about. I had one more thing to say about the clothes. You know what? I forgot. Sorry. Brunch took over my thoughts. If it comes back, I'll spit it out. Yes, let's talk about brunch. You were at brunch. What you always ask me what I thought about brunch. What did you think about brunch?
I wish I came with a red pencil and a piece of paper so I could mark down everything you did wrong. That's what I wish.
Well, you're welcome.
I will be equipped. I am coming back to brunch on the 23rd.
Yes.
I will be there for that. And then I'm just going to stay in Sacramento and then do Queens and Comedy at Punchline. So, yes, I will be there for that.
And in the middle, you'll come here and do this show.
Oh, is that true? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Great.
So we're going to have a 4-show day, the two of us.
Oh, my God.
I know.
That's so much, Suzette. That's so much.
I was going to say, I don't know if that oh, my God, is oh, my God, I'm going to be tired, or oh, my God, I have to spend the whole day with Suzette.
There it is. Yeah. Definitely the latter. Yeah. No, brunch was good. It was, my mom was ecstatic. She was so excited. And my sister was very excited that I was taking her to brunch because she was like, I love that you're doing this and blah, blah, blah. And then my mom was like, this is my first drag brunch. And I was like, how the hell is that true? Like, I was in New York for 5 years. Like, how did I never take you to brunch, like to drag brunch? That blows my mind, you know? So the fact that this was the first one that she saw is tragic, but at least she was there.
I don't want to say it's tragic. I want to say actually it's unfortunate that it took her this long, but for her first show to be a show with Tearing Through You and Apple Adams.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I was strictly referring to you.
Oh yeah. No. Okay, the audience can't see Clifton now. We needed a Chelsea reaction cam. That was Clifton laughing in the background. Go on. It
was fun, and you guys had Ruby Rose Monroe.
Ruby Red Monroe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's very, very fun. And you know what my mom kept saying? My mom kept saying they're so tall. They're just so tall. Like it was something that was just not you. But yeah. But she would just like to Apple and everything because she's seen Apple on Who Wrote This Shit so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like she never equated that, you know, Apple is a tall bitch. Like, you know, so and she was just her eyes, like I kept having to take reaction videos. So I would get videos of like the Queen performing, and then I would scan over and get my mom, and it was glorious. It was so glorious. She was having a blast, and she just kept sucking down those margaritas. I was like, well, thank God they're very opaque with orange, because this bitch would have been asleep in the car in 5 minutes. But yes, they were. She had a very, very good time. So she was very, very happy.
I am so glad you guys came. I'm so glad you brought her. What I was going to say was, I get the opposite, and I'm not trying to like be self-deprecating here, but I get the opposite a lot. Like people will meet me and they'll be like, "Oh, you're very short."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. The picture didn't have like the height meter in it. I don't know what to tell you. This is what I got.
It's always a weird thing to say to people because it's like, how do you respond to that? You know what I mean? Like, what do you say? Like, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
or,
I look tall in pictures. Yeah.
Right. Do I need to give you something? Like, you know, it's a very weird thing because how do you respond to that? I don't know. I have no idea.
So you get it too.
Oh yeah. People are always surprised at how short I am, especially because of the curves that are happening. I have a very, like, my body's it's a lot to take in. There's a lot happening in a very small amount of space.
Yeah, you're not interstate legal because there's too much curve and not enough distance.
Oh, very good.
Sorry.
Oh, man.
Man,
you've been waiting to bust that one out for a while, huh?
No, it just came. It just came.
Oh, bravo. Yeah. You're just getting stronger as a comic? Okay, awesome.
You know what? Okay. Someone has a show they have to do on the 23rd, and they have to look good next to you. So, doing my best. Doing my best.
Who else is on that show? Tell everybody. Who else is on that show?
So, on that show, we have you. We have Mariam Musavi. We have Bijou Bentley. We have Melody De Leon, and we have one comic to be named.
Okay, I like it.
It's going to be a good show.
I'm very excited. Yeah, this
is
great.
So excited.
When do tickets for that go on sale, or are they on sale?
Oh, already? They're live. They're on sale right now.
They're on live. Okay. Do you have a flyer?
Soon.
Okay. Yeah. Get on that. Okay.
I was waiting till finish booking, and I was like, nope, we just need it now. We're just gonna make it now, so it should be coming soon.
We need to share that. Get the word out. I'm very excited.
Absolutely. No, I've been sharing a little bit. Only 60 tickets. So once they go on sale, we'll have a full house. So yeah. So let's see. Now I want to ask you, because you were at brunch. Now the thing that I've been talking, I don't know, because you don't stay on to watch like the deeper interviews that I do. You're not here for like 2 hours, which I'm not.
Of course not. I would kill myself.
So now what I've been telling, because I've had Helen and Apple and Deja Sky, and I had Precious Cargo, and so what I've been kind of the through line of me talking to them about me, because we've talked about the scene in general. Because right now there's this thing happening on the drag scene where people are like, I've been performing for a year and I should be in all of the shows and have my own show and get paid this much money. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we can talk about this if you want. But hold on. So my goal, Helen asked me, I was on her show and she interviewed me and she said, what's your goal this year for drag? And I said, my goal is to get to a point where like my days where I'm not like, you know what, I didn't steal the show, I didn't kill it today, but the audience is still like, yes, bitch. Like, now you weren't, but you are, you know how the sausage gets made, right? Mm-hmm. But you saw the crowd living for me. Mm-hmm. Okay.
They were.
Okay.
They absolutely were. And I will say, your first number, not so much, but your second one, you chose a very well-known song so that everyone could clap along, so they could sing with you, so they could, and those are the ones that really engage us because like not only you're starting off on a very universally known platform, and so it's like if you start there and you have everyone on your side, and then you move. Okay, perfect example is that Taryn closed the show with "Sweetest Taboo" by Sade. Okay, which is a very well-known song. There were older people in the audience that were very, very excited that they knew the song selection that she chose. But then she amped it up by singing "Sweetest Taboo" to a box of donuts that she basically had sex with on the stage.
She did.
And that, to me, was that amped it up. So not only are we excited that we know the song selection that was chosen, but then you bump it up to do something out of the ordinary, to sing the song to an inanimate object or to have sex with this thing, or you know what I mean? Like then you're taking it to another level to keep us engaged, because once we recognize the song, sure, we're excited, but then how are you going to keep our attention through this 3-minute performance? And so that's the thing. Like when you came on, your final number was "Bitch" by Meredith Brooks. And it's like, that is a very well-known song and it gets people pumped up because we like to say the word bitch. I don't know if you know this, but I call everyone that.
I do. I've noticed.
So So we like to say the word bitch, and it's in a song, and it's like well known. So we're singing it with you, blah 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 blah. But what I told you afterwards is now we need to bump that up. So it's like now you need to do something in that song that is bitchy, you know, or that's surprising, you know what I mean? Like if during verse 2 you're testing makeup on animals and then you throw that animal in the trash, it's like that's a bitchy thing to do, you know, like let's do something bitchy, you know. So it's like things like that will just take the performance up a notch, like to another level. And I do need to say that the only reason that I feel like I have any right saying this to you at all is because I come from a very deep musical theater background. Yeah. And I'm also a multiple karaoke winner where we would karaoke. It was a performance. It was a league. We were competitively singing, but we had to get dramatics involved with it, with costumes and props and everything. And it was in New York, and it was this huge deal. Like people would flock to this thing to watch these competitions unfold. It was phenomenal.
No, in your opinion. Okay, so here's something I learned as an artist a long time ago. Everyone's opinion is worth listening to. Everyone's opinion might not be good. Some of those opinions are going to be trash just by the law of averages. But don't discount someone's opinion just because they're not a performer themselves. They're not a drag like every comic that watches a drag show, I'm interested in what they have. And this is not to discount you, because I'm extra interested in hearing because of what you've done. Also because I ask you for it a lot. I want to know your opinion of it. But if... Let's say I'm trying to think of a random comic we both know. It doesn't matter. The audience isn't going to know. So random comic A, right? Someone we both know, never been to a drag show. They come to brunch with you. I'm interested in what they have to say, right? Because they might see something that I never would have thought of, that you never would have thought of, that might be amazing. So let me hear it.
Well, that's the same thing. You can apply that to anything.
Yeah. You know, absolutely.
That's another reason why, like, Miles Weber and I bounce jokes off of each other, because we will write our own material, but then we're so close to the material that we can't see it from an outside perspective of how we can take that joke to another level. So we talk it out in a conversation, which just happens to be molded into a brainstorming session. And then after 10 minutes of discussion, it's like, oh, that's how we should end this. That's it. That's okay. That's the punchline. And then we're just scrambling to write it down because we've just made a joke out of just having a talk, you know? So it's like you having little collaborative things like that with people that you trust, especially creatively, is, I mean, that's priceless. You need to have that in your life. You know, absolutely. I mean, it'll take so many things up a notch, up a level to another realm if you just take that and stop trying to do everything completely on your own, because it's like you can't. You're too close to it.
No, I get that, you know, at brunch, specifically, I mean, from everyone that performs, the guests and Helen as well, but definitely from Apple and Taryn, I'll tell them what I'm doing, and they'll usually have something to say, like, oh, what if you did this also? Or what if you wore this with that? And it's like, yes, thank you. Because I thought of A, B, C, E, F, G, H, but I missed D. Like, okay, I set myself up for that, but I missed the D. And we all do, bitch. We all do. I know. It's the woo. Okay, it is a little hot. But you know, it's like that. You know, now I have a complete idea. I have a complete alphabet here. Thank you. Right. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It was great. It was great. It was nice to see. You know, the different styles, you know, because I always love seeing drag queens' different styles and stuff like that. And Mom, it was fun to see. I'm glad that, like, Helen Heels had a Pretty Woman number. And so it would go from the Pretty Woman, the song, and then incorporate sound bites from the actual movie. And I don't think my mom knew that drag queens could do that or did do that. So I'm so glad that there was a number that incorporated some dialogue that they can play along with, because it's like, that's a very drag queen thing to do, is to like, you know, let's amp up this song. Let's not just do this song. Let's take a fun version of it, or let's add some words to it or something.
Right.
And I love when they do that, to just bump it up to another level. And I'm glad that my mom was able to witness that.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that is a Helen staple. So like that's something that we talk about when I have other queens, and we talk about brunch. Is there is a little bit of overlap between all four of us, more so, you know, with me and Apple and Taryn and Helen. But there's overlap between Helen and I. There's overlap between, you know, Taryn and Apple. But you are gonna get that style of drag with the dialogue spliced into the song from Helen, because she's good at it. She does it well, and she does it often.
Yeah.
I'm glad your mom saw this brunch. She's seen drag before, but I'm glad that she saw this, because this really is some of the best drag you can see in Northern California.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. And like my sister, you know, she heads up like the social media stuff for Who Wrote This Shit, my game show that's on Monday nights. Clifton, I think, are you going to be on are you on tomorrow? Are you going to play tomorrow? Nod. You can hear me. Come on. There you go. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Are you playing?
Is it every week?
Every single week. Mm-hmm.
Let's do, because I'm moderating Monday Night Raw tomorrow for my wrestling group, so let's do next week.
Okay, we'll talk. I'll message you.
Oh, and Chelsea, I got some people who are interested in coming on as contestants.
Oh, good. Okay,
because they saw the episode with all of us.
Cool. We might need them tomorrow, actually. So we'll message privately. But
okay.
My sister, she heads up all the social media. Like, she runs our Instagram and stuff like that. And so when I told her where we were going and who we were seeing, she was so excited, because we would go to drag brunch in Manhattan like once a month. We would go about once a month, and every Sunday their drag brunch was based on Broadway musical numbers. So every musical number was a Broadway show tune. And it was just because we were brought up with musicals, and
right.
That's something we watched as a child, to incorporate that into the drag world. It was just like, there was nothing better for us. There was no other way that we would want to spend a Sunday. So
yeah, no, and so did we talk about when we had the Broadway? Did you and I talk about the Broadway show that we did about 2 months ago?
I don't think so.
Oh. No, maybe it was when Apple was here. I can't remember. I did Hamilton. I think we did talk about it.
No,
you did Hamilton?
Yeah.
Oh, you talked about it with Clifton.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay, I talked about it with Clifton. So, yeah, no, we had a Broadway day. I should tell you next time we do.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. I have so many ideas. It's so stupid. But yeah, Broadway. Oh my God, stop it. Broadway and drag there. I mean, it's like peanut butter and jelly. Like, it should just always be together. But actually, I know you wanted to bring up like drag race with me. And if I am being completely honest, once Drag Race went to VH1, I was no longer interested. No, it went mainstream, and I was like, no. And you don't understand. Like, my sister and I watched season 1 when it was on TV. Like, it wasn't like we went and like sought it out to watch, you know, BB. It's like we watched season 1, you know, and we were fans from season 1 to Bob the Drag. Like, it was every single week we would hold drag parties at our house. We, you know, multiple times we would wear wigs during commercial breaks. We would have to switch. Like, I mean, like, we held drag parties. Like, in New York, it was a big deal. So, and I loved the fact that it was on Logo. I loved the fact that it was this underground, you know, only true fans were watching. I loved that. Once it went mainstream, I felt like some of the magic was gone. And that's completely me.
No, it's not complete. I mean,
that is exactly where shit went left with it, and those contracts got those lengthy 5-year things on there. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny you brought this up because in my wrestling group, I said RuPaul and Vince McMahon, who owns WWE, are very similar because if you cross them, they will make your life a living hell and you won't be able to do anything else because they're greedy, they're money hungry, and they control the talent, and they have a way of making it so that if the talent steps out of line, the talent won't get any work anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that I was fearful of when it made the switch from Logo to VH1. There was part of me that was like, this is all for money. You know, like it was like, why can't we just do this to celebrate drag? Why are we changing this platform? Just have it be where it's at. It's doing fine. You know, like it stopped being about celebrating the drag queens to me. And I feel like before it made that switch, it was all about the drag queens. It was like, it was strengthening them, pushing them to their limits, like helping them get better. You know, I mean, in season 4, Michelle Visage had to tell a bitch to put on lotion, like lotion up, bitch, lotion up. And it's like, you have to tell someone to put lotion on. Like, this is the TV that I want to watch, because it's like, these are queens that are learning how to be better queens, you know, like, and that's what I want to see. I don't want to see money hungry, totally polished. Like, I don't want to watch that. It was the magic was gone.
You're not seeing. Oh,
go ahead, Suzette.
I was gonna say so. This is not just my opinion. This is not. I'm not stating this on behalf of all drag queens, but from the drag queens I have talked to now, and certainly Clifton, and I think we've talked about this as well. Now it's not so much who has the best drag. Now it's like who has the most money going in, and they're not necessarily polished going in or know what they're doing. They just they're funded. You know, they're sponsored. And
yeah, and that's not okay with me, you know, like, and okay, like I watched one of the finales at one of the gay clubs in New York, and this was before Bianca's year, and Bianca was actually hosting this finale. Okay, so she was hosting the finale. We were watching it on these huge like drive-in screens inside this giant ass gay club, right? And everyone just kept asking Bianca, like, how are you not on the show? How are you not on the show? You know, and then I guess Bianca like was asked personally by RuPaul to be on the fucking show. And it's like, this is, you know, like, of course Bianca Del Rio is going to win. Like, she's literally fully well-rounded. You know, we're talking about a funny queen, but she can also be very, very heartfelt. She can do funny. She can do glamorous. She can do all of that. You know, like if you're just dealing with, you know, like a Violet Chachki who's like got a rube removed just so she's a skinny fucking bitch. You know, it's like, sure, she won, but it's like, but what do you do? Like,
Chelsea, you have just struck the chord that we've been talking about for an entire month. Because I had Apple, I had Helen, I had Deja, I had Precious, and it's what do you do? Like, this is me talking to a drag queen. What do you do that makes you you? Like, why? Like, sure, you're pretty, sure, you're in a wig and you're in heels and you're in a dress, but like, why you? Like, who are you? Because if
that should be asked not just to queens. That should be asked to me as a comic.
Absolutely.
That should be asked to me as an actor. That should be asked to you as a checker at Rayleigh's. You know what I mean? It's like, what makes you? Why should I give a shit?
Well, I don't like how we talked about you as a comic, as an actor, and then I became a checker at Rayleigh's. But yes, I agree completely.
If the shoe fits, bitch. I mean, it's like, do you know how to bag eggs? That's a serious skill.
I don't know if I have that skill. But no, absolutely. Like, and that's why, speaking of my show, Queens in Comedy, that's why I like booking comedians with different viewpoints. And I get so frustrated when people are like, oh, I don't know, it's hard to book a show with, you know, women, or it's hard to book a show with like that's diverse. It's not. You're being lazy. You're being lazy, and you don't want to book a show that's diverse, and you don't want to book a show with women, because it's not that hard to book 4 different comics with 4 different viewpoints that can tell you, because I don't want to see the same jokes from the same people of varying skill levels, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't want to see that comedy show. Just like I don't want to go to a show I'm going to start with me because we can all agree. No one wants to see 4 Suzette performances in the same show, right?
Oh my God, I don't even want to see one.
But you also like the variety of getting something different than just 4 Apple performances in a row or 4 Taryn performances in a row. Would you like that? Yes. Would the drag be elevated and high? Absolutely. But seeing different speeds and different pitches and different types, that's what kind of makes a show special to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it is about who are you and what do you do? Because if you're just skinny, cool. But what else?
Right, exactly. And so when I look at, like, let's use today's brunch as a you know, kind of a catalyst, like,
Sure.
you know, like I'm glad that you like you see it, like you see yourself as a princess, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, and that's a great persona to have, you know, and it's just, and it was perfect today with your like pigtails and this little baby doll dress, and it's like you played that part up, you know what I mean? Like you were basically Prairie Dawn from fucking Sesame Street. Like it was like that was a perfect like drag princess look, you know what I mean? But then you look at Helen, who's like a professional dancer, and it's like, yo, she can bring the dancing numbers to the thing. Apple is a great comedic performer, you know, like, and so it's like, and that Taryn brings, I mean, whatever old people bring, but it's just like, it's just like, I love it. You know, she will read the audience to filth, you know, that bitch read me for wearing a fur coat like 3 weeks ago. Like, I mean, it's like, and no one knew what she was talking about, but she knew that I did, and she was not going to let that die. And so it was like, read me, bitch, let's go. I can do it too. Like, I love this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to back down from this. Read me. That's great. So it's just, it's nice that your show is, it highlights everybody's different, and you guys really do celebrate that, which is great. Yeah.
Well, and then on top of the 4 of us being, like I said, you know, we kind of intersect at places, but we're also very different. The guest performer, we have some of the best guest performers you can get, and they bring a whole different element, you know?
Yeah.
Which is like, did Ruby give you something that you could have gotten from Helen or from Apple? Yeah, but she gave it to you in her own way because she's Ruby.
Well, she gave it to me in ice skating outfits. I was like, this bitch has so many ice skating leotards. What is happening right now? Like, I mean, she was so glamorous, and then she stood on a damn wall and jumped off in heels. I was like, this bitch is gonna die. Like, oh my God. So, I mean, she was great. You know, and it's just, it was really nice to see all of you guys just serving up the different things that you guys have. And I really feel like performers in any aspect should really look at, what am I bringing? Why is my voice different? And why is my voice something that needs to be heard? I think that's a very important thing, especially if you're doing anything in the performance you know, and that's as a dancer, a singer, an actor, I mean, anything, comedian, you know, DJ, anything in the performance it's like, why
Right.
You know?
Well, and that's the thing, like, because there are a lot of people lately who are like, oh, I can give you what Apple gives you, or I can give you what Mercury gives you, like, but I don't need, like, Apple can give me what Apple gives me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get it from Apple, if that's okay. Right. Like, I'm just going to get 100% from Apple Adams instead of the 25% of the Apple Adams that you can give me, because she can give me the whole thing. So I'd rather just do that. Thank you. And same thing as a comedian. Like, I joke about wanting to be you. I joke about wanting to be like you. And I've said this, I think I said this to Deja. I want to be my version of you. I watch you do comedy and I go, damn, how do I do that but as me? You know, I don't want to be...
You can look at people and, you know, not necessarily want to emulate them, but you want to have my level of confidence when I talk to someone in the audience. You know, like, you want to, which is totally attainable. Like, looking at someone and looking up and being like, that's where I want to be, which is fine. But you can get there doing exactly what it is that you bring to the table, you know? And so it's like, and that to me is that would be something dope. That would be something different, you know? And then you're pushing yourself to reach those higher levels, you know, and that's what if you're in performance, if you're not constantly pushing yourself, if you're not constantly growing or evolving, I mean, just stop now.
What are you doing?
Because this is one of those things that you don't stop. You don't stop. In performance, there is no I've made it. No, you're constantly looking for the next thing. My friend, right before the shutdown, he was cast in Mean Girls. He was the principal in Mean Girls on Broadway. Okay, and he had that role since Mean Girls got put on Broadway. He was great, and he's a stand-up comic. He's a singer. He's a phenomenal guy. I love him to death. And he got cast in Mean Girls. This was his Broadway debut role, and he was so excited. And like in a lot of people's eyes, it's like, yo, you made it to Broadway, like you made it, you know. And a couple months went by, and he was starting to look for what's next, you know. And it's like, you can hit these major milestones, these huge goals can be reached, but you're not done. If you're in this, you're not done. No,
never. And also, like, that just because you got there doesn't mean you can stop working. Because I'm very open and honest on this show. Like, I want to bring something that shows that I belong next to those three and our guest performer every week. I want to show that, yeah, I'm with them, and there's a reason. You know, you can't just say like, oh, I'm here now, I can coast. There's less coasting happens once you get there. Because now you're on interstate speeds. Like, you got to keep up.
Yeah, go Clifton.
Right. So, like, I'm glad you said that because, you know, I started DJing right before the pandemic started, and I was learning how to live mix and everything like that. And, you know, it's so funny because last night I was working, and, you know, the system because no one has been in that booth for about 7 or 8 months, so the system had some system issues that need to get fixed, and so the main DJ is coming out here to fix them. So in my mind, I'm like, I just want to be able to, like, you know, do my thing, like do it, but like no one knows what's happening because they're just hearing the songs. But in my mind, I'm like, I want to mix this with this, and also too, I want to step outside of my comfort zone. I've been experimenting with Latin music. I've been throwing on some K-pop, throwing on some other things that other people want to hear, but also too, picking up the vibes of the crowd and seeing what works with them. And also too, the one thing I messed up on when I first started was trying to please everybody in there. And, you know, people will come and request things, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I'll put it on, and then I'll notice people start to leave and things like that. So that's when, like, last night, it's so funny, as I posted a status about this last night on Facebook, when I was working, this guy comes up, and he's like, can you play Blink-182? Girl, I'm playing Mariah, I'm playing Rihanna, I'm playing, you know, current shit. How am I going to go from that to Blink-182 and not empty the bar? Mm-hmm. And so it was one of those moments where I was just like, you know what? No. And before the pandemic and when I first started, I used to try so hard you're not going to please everybody.
Right.
In all fields that you have. And also too, finding the way to please yourself, make yourself happy with what you're doing, but also staying authentic and also challenging yourself. That is an art all on its own, because many people can't do that, you know, because you're so busy trying to do what the next bitch is doing. Like, if I'm going to sit here and play and think of like, oh, what is Pocket playing? Or what does Marcos play? Or what does Ryan play? They could just have Pocket, Marcos, or Ryan come in and play. You know, like, I need to have my own groove and do what I like to do and whatever works. And that's the same thing with you, Suzette, and the same thing with you, Chelsea. Like, if y'all were doing what the next bitch was doing, why they got you up in there?
Right. Well,
and the next bitch in there. So
and Apple and I talked about that when she was here about a month ago. Which is there's a point when you're performing in drag, and it's like, do you give the audience, and so Chelsea, this is interesting that you were there today. Do you give the audience something that's you, or do you give the audience something that they know and like? And the general consensus from the people that I admire and trust to advise me is you do both. You split the baby.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. You can do both. And the ones that do it really well are the ones that do it seamlessly, where it's like you can tell that they're doing this and they enjoy it, but they've also figured out how to make this a universally, enjoyable experience. So it's just, that's a fine line that you need to walk down. You know what I mean? Like when I go up and do comedy and I'm going to close my show, with a joke about my clit, you know what I mean? It's like, but I know that there's, 80-year-old women in the audience. I'm like, well, I have 25 to 30 minutes to get them ready to hear that. So let's ease it in. Okay. Tip at a time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need to loop it up. So I see that because I'm like, well, now I'm going to be doing something that I enjoy, but how can I make them enjoy it too? And so it's just, it's a fine line, but I definitely think that the performers that are doing it right are doing those things simultaneously and you don't even realize it.
Oh, absolutely. And I think if today hadn't been Mother's Day, for instance, maybe I do Bitch first, right? And then do Mom was my other song by Meghan Trainor, because that is not a well-known song. It wasn't even on one of her albums. It's a fun song though, right? So if you do the first one and then people are like, oh, we like what she's doing. She's fun. And then you do the second song, people are like, okay, didn't know the song, but she was fun. She's still fun.
Exactly. That's how I choose karaoke songs when I am going to a bar. If I'm going to a bar and it's a karaoke night, great. I'm going to look around. I'm going to see what crowd it is. Like if this is a country bar, I'm probably not going to sing from Rent. It's like, let me know my audience. So then I'll figure out where I'm going. And then I'll choose like one of my top 5 or 6 songs that I know that I can destroy. Like I can bring the house down with it. And that will be the first one, because now they trust me as a performer. Now they trust me as a singer. So I can sing anything following up and I'll get that. Oh, listen to her. She's good. Watch this. And I'll get that from the people who have seen me do my first selection. So it's like, let me do something for me first to prove my worth to you. And then when I go up the next time, I know I'm going to get you to pay attention because you just saw me destroy this other song. So it's like, now I gotcha, Right.
No. And I've been experimenting with doing it. The reason I did Bitch, because like I had to, using comedy terms, I had to feature for the closer, right? Like I had to lead into Taryn doing Sweetest Taboo with donuts. We call it the donut routine. Everyone in Sacramento knows at the donut routine, right? So like what can I do to kind of get the crowd convalesced, what can I do to bring everyone together before the donut routine? Not that she needs it, she doesn't need that at all. But like the last thing I want to do is make people look at their phones and get them to tune out and make people get up and go to the bathroom. No. I want everyone here. I want everyone paying attention because I want to set that next performer up. And so that's why I did it that order today. So, and Mother's Day, do the mom song first, get it out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't need that explanation, but thank you so much for that.
No, you're welcome. So I think if I can ask you both, so we have kind of a weirder month this month on the Suzette Veneti Show, just because I have a couple. I'm at Punchline next week, I think, and then we're there together for my show on the 23rd. So I think what I'd like to do is talk with you both, if you're both available next week and free. I'd like to talk with you both about the thing that I've been talking with all the drag queens about, which is what are new performers, like what is this sense of entitlement from new performers? Because I consider myself at 4 years a new performer, and a lot of people are like, you're not new. No, I really am still at 4 years, just like in comedy. You're still new at 4 years. You're still figuring yourself out at 5 years. So
it's that whole 10,000 hours thing. Like it's like that whole thing, and there was someone, I cannot remember where I heard this from, but like in comedy land, there was this thing about, at 10 years, you'll either make it big or you'll come up with a realization about your comedy, or your comedy will take a turn that will, take you to where you're supposed to be and stuff like that. And it's like, and that happened with me, like I'm 13 years in now, 13 and a half years in. And when I hit 10, like that was really when, the crowd work thing for me, because I never did crowd work before. You know, I don't know. I've been doing crowd work for like 4 years. Like, it's brand new for me.
See, that's
so
interesting because I've only known you for those 4 years.
Right, exactly. So anyone here in the Bay Area only knows me as someone who's very confident with crowd work, but in comedy, like a timeline references, it's very, very new for me.
Right.
I was strictly material when I was getting started in LA. When I was doing comedy in New York, the crowd work was not a thing for me. So you know, but it's interesting to hear that drag queens are having this entitlement from ones that are a year in. Like, I mean, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
No right. Like to have this, you need to be doing as many drag shows as you can. Like, you need to be doing, like, I'm not even kidding, like the really shitty ones, the good one, you need to be doing all of them you can. When I got started in comedy, there was no way I would turn down a stage at all.
Well, and let's be real, like,
okay, like, you know, we could be in a back alley doing comedy for 4 homeless people, and it's like, yeah, this will help me get stronger. Absolutely. Now I know I have a homeless joke. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Something.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that sense of entitlement exists in comedy as well. I see it when, you know, in the comedy scene. I see people being like, well, I've done it for, like, that's where I saw it first. I've been doing comedy for a year. When do I get to headline? When you got headliner time, when you can headline. What do you mean? Yeah. This isn't like a seniority thing. Like, it's not like you put in your year and then you become a headliner. Like, you need to have 30 minutes of, not 30 minutes of ideas. You need to have 30 minutes of material that is good. Or you need to be able to go out and crowd work for 30 minutes like you and Miles can. But, like, you don't just do it for a year and then suddenly get to, like, the accolades don't come in because you did it for a year. Like, that doesn't. Right. So the sense of entitlement is with all performers. But I'd be interested in continuing, because I told Jesse we didn't have a guest, so it was going to be a quick show. And I've kept you guys for pretty long. But I would be interested in continuing this conversation with you both longer next week and the week after, because it's so staggering to all of us, you know, because like I said, this conversation is carried through since I had Apple in episode 50. We've all talked about, like, why do people think that they're owed none of us as performers are owed anything? And
that's the wrong mentality to go into any sort of performance. You know, I mean, actually, I think Brittany Brave said it on your show when you had her on. She said something like, if you have you know, like an ounce of ego in this industry, you're gonna be taken out. You know, like, you can't have that. There has to be a level of humility. There has to be this sense of this drive, this wanting more, this thirst to keep going. Mm-hmm. You know, just because you know, I get booked to do this club or this club or this club, you know, or to record this special here or this special here, that doesn't mean that I am now deserving of this, and this. No, Eat shit. No, absolutely not. You know, like, am I more qualified? Maybe, but I'm not gonna be here. Like, after a year in, there's no way that I have the right to say that. You know, like, you just keep doing what you're doing. Push as hard as you can push. Strengthen, tone, like, get everything down that you need to, and when the time is right for an opportunity to present itself, it fucking will. You know, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, if a brand new comic, you know, has a kick-ass 5-minute set or whatever, and they get picked up to do, let's say, Fallon, to get to do a 5-minute set on Jimmy Fallon, great, you've made it. This is huge. But guess what, bitch? You don't have more than 5 minutes. So now when millions of people see you and they want to book you for a 45-minute headlining set and their, you know, comedy club in Toronto, you're fucked. What are you going to do? It's the same thing with people who get booked off of one joke on YouTube or because they're big on TikTok or what used to be Vine. It's like, no, you know how to be funny when it's edited, when it's one joke, when it's 15 seconds, but when it's a random Tuesday at 7 o'clock in Kansas,
at a 7-Eleven,
and be funny right when they need you to be, that is what makes a difference when it comes to comedy.
Absolutely.
You know? And so it's like, it just drives me crazy that that actually infuriates me that the entitlement is there, because absolutely not. They need a black mom to slap their face. That's what they need.
By the way, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I have the best gift ever, which is not having my kid here. It's so great. Oh my God.
I'm
so happy.
I love the honesty. I was actually, thinking about what song to do for Mother's Day, and I was gonna do something like that, and I was like, no, because that's not my role that day. My role.
No mom wants to be with their kid on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is the time where they want a day off. And guess what? If you have a celebration for your mom, don't save the dishes for them to do the day after, because they don't want to do that shit either. That's for sure. Oh my God, I cannot. Yes, Clifton. Yes. So give moms the day off. And when I say the day off, I mean the day off.
How about the week?
Make them clean up the celebration the day after. Don't make them do all that shit. This is their day.
Yeah, maybe a couple days, buffer days on both sides. Okay, so are you gonna be here next week, Chelsea? Streaming in? You're available?
I think so.
Okay.
Let's consult my date book.
Clifton,
yep, I'll be here.
Clifton, you're available?
Next week is a WWE pay-per-view. I won't be here.
Okay, well then, Chelsea, you and I will continue this conversation, because I'm interested to keep having this conversation about performer entitlement and
maybe I'll wear my glasses and I won't shave that day, and I'll just speak in Clifton's voice. Maybe I'll do that.
You know what? I can do both. I can mute the TV.
Okay.
And I'll slide in for like a cute little 5 or 10 minutes, and I'll just pop right on out.
Okay.
Oh, look at that dedication. See that? That's what bumps him up as a performer, the dedication.
That is drive. Just like, doing 4 shows a day like I do on, like, that's another thing that I've been telling people. You don't pick when your opportunities are. You pick if you do them or not. But if you're offered a show, you do the show. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to do the show, don't do the show. But you got an offer, take the offer.
Yeah, because I just thought about it right now. I was like, I'm not actually at the show. Now, if my girl is in a match, I may be distracted, but I could do both.
But
fair. That's fair.
That's also, like, I would be interested on that take when we talk about this more at length. What you were talking about, Sasha Banks, right?
There's Sasha, there's Naomi, there's The Rock's cousin, Nia. There's so many girls. Wrestling and drag go hand in hand, because there's about 20-something girls on there, and they all just different personalities and different vibes and everything like that. But there's a huge title match next week. Ric Flair's daughter came back, and she's trying to ruffle shit up. And it's funny you mentioned entitlement, because she has that entitlement, or her character has that entitlement attitude as well, where it's like, okay, girl, you've been gone for 6 months, and now you think you're mad because you weren't on WrestleMania, and now you're trying to come back, and you think you could just get a title match out of nowhere, and the other girls on the show are like, nah, bitch, you've been gone all this time, and you think you just gonna be entitled because you're Ric Flair's daughter? No. And it's just so funny how drag and this fictional world of wrestling kind of go hand in hand with this. There have been many a times where I'll just be like, this seems like some drag queen shit right here. And then I look at drag queens, I'm like, this is some wrestling shit right here. And there have been sometimes I'm like, are y'all gonna lip sync, or are you gonna put the bitch through a table, or maybe both? That would be pretty epic, but
But I mean, because performers, that's why I'm interested to keep this conversation going, because there is an element of all of these performers, some of them putting in the work, showing up, doing the work, keeping the drive alive, getting better all the time, looking for the next place to step up to and elevate to, so they can keep elevating, not just stagnating and plateauing. And
also too, I notice every time I take time off, that's when shit really gets popping in the T world, and I'm just like, God damn it!
Right? That's true.
And then all this shit happens.
And then you'll come back like 2 weeks later or something, and you're like, yo, like, we have to talk. Like, you'll have articles, like.
Because there's always something going on, and it's just like figuring out like what to talk about, or because I used to get overwhelmed trying to pack everything in. But then I was like, okay, what do I really want to talk about, and what do the people that watch this show want to talk about? Because honestly, I can give two rat shits about Elon Musk on SNL, because I was going to talk about that, but then I was just like, I don't really care. And honestly, I don't really think
that's exactly what we were talking about before. Like, what do people want? What do you want to talk about? And how do you mesh those together to create one thing where that satisfies the world?
And that's a lesson that some open micers never learn, because they come up making jokes about things that no one cares about.
Their audience knows when you're not being authentic. They know when you're trying too hard. They know when it's not authentic. And when it's not authentic, or when you're trying too hard, they're going to tune out. They're going to click off. They're going to go get a drink. They're going to look at their phone. They're going to do whatever they want to do because you're not giving it to them. So, and it would be so trivial and stupid of me to be like, oh, I demand to get paid for coming on here. Girl, it's only 10, 15 minutes on a Sunday afternoon. I don't need that, and it's just like,
thank you.
The entitlement of things like that would be very entitled of me to say that, or to say like, if Badlands wanted me to DJ on a Sunday, you want me on a Sunday? I should be on a Saturday. Bitch, I've only been DJing for not even a year. Right. Like, you got to walk before you run. And, when Apple or Pocket or somebody would give me pointers, I take them, because these are all people that have been doing it way longer than I have. And, every time that they give me pointers, I take it. And I see a lot of these I sound like an auntie right now, but I see a lot of these younger people coming into different spaces with these attitudes. And I'm just like, girl, life is going to eat your ass up.
Yeah.
Okay, let's table this. Let's come back to this.
I will be back next week, because I have a lot to say about this. And, I may not be a comedian, may not be a drag queen, may not be a singer, but I see it in every aspect of life. Whether it's, and just the entitlement will keep you from progressing in life.
And that's why I want to talk about it with the both of you, because we have two very valid viewpoints, and I have my own. So first off, thank you both for coming on tonight and helping me fill a show with no guest. I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
And since you are an auntie tonight, Clifton, happy Mother's Day. And again,
thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to you, Chelsea.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for
myself some Jack in the Box from Uber Eats, and I'm gonna watch Pose. So
okay.
Get it, bitch. Yes.
Good to see you both. Thanks for coming to brunch today, Chelsea. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your Mother's Day with us and your mom with us.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm really glad that we were able to make it work. And huge
too.
shout out to Jesse over at Stab. Jesse, we love you. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yay.
Bye, guys. Oh, and Chelsea messaged me so we can talk.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Peers and Queers, that was Chelsea Bearce. Her information was below her when she was on screen. I think Jesse was having Clifton's information below him. So please support them both. Follow them both. That is how performers stay up to date and getting better, by getting eyes and views. Because if you don't, then you can't improve, because you're for improving. You can, I restate, you can improve when no one's watching, but it helps to have an audience when you're a performer. So please follow them. Also, again, above my pretty little head, the information for Stab Comedy Theater. With that, we're going to round out the show with the person that we always can bump at the end, but we're not going to bump him today. We're going to bring David Shapiro on. He is a performer. He also works hard. I will not be mean for once and say, David Shapiro, how are you today?
How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you for asking.
Cool. Do you consider yourself a mother?
No.
Well,
no.
Because you have a dog, right? And so some people that have dogs consider themselves parents.
Okay. Right. No,
So
he's my baby.
I didn't want to be disrespectful. I'm trying to be nice to you.
Thank you.
Suzette
Thank
Veneti.
you.
And I didn't know if you considered yourself like a dog mommy.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't. He's my baby, but no, I'm not a mommy.
Celebrate Mother's Day.
No, I don't
or
celebrate
yourself, or if your dog does with you.
No.
Anyway, okay, so not a happy Mother's Day to you.
Thanks.
But if I can take this opportunity to say Happy Mother's Day to my mom, Jan Shapiro, She used to watch your show. I don't know if she does anymore. But I love my mom, and she's amazing. She is an Italian woman, like yourself, Suzette. She's everything. My mom is everything good about me is because of her, mostly. She's so amazing, and she did all the cool mom things. She taught me how to read at like 2 or 3. I was reading Tom Clancy books by age 7. That's a little much, but I learned how to read because of my mom. I learned how to be a person because of my mom, really. So many good memories with my mom. And I actually got to go visit her last week, and it was really cool. And then I think she might be coming to town in a couple weeks, and that's really cool because I just love seeing her. And I didn't have anything really to talk about today,
Clearly,
except just to say that I have a mom that I love very much, and I wanted to wish her a happy Mother's Day on your show. Because she'll never see it because she doesn't watch it anymore. No, but yeah, and happy Mother's Day to anyone watching that's a mom. Happy Mother's Day to Chelsea. I think she's long gone from watching at this point. But happy Mother's Day to her. Let's see, happy Mother's Day to... Yeah, I think that's it. As everyone on your show that's a mom today. But yeah. So, happy Mother's Day to anyone watching that's a mom. Mother's Day is cool. I think we all like Mother's Day. There are a lot of holidays nowadays that are stupid. Everyone has a day. I'm pretty sure there's Italian Jew Day at this point, which I should probably be behind, but I'm not, because there are too many holidays. But Mother's Day is one that I think we can all kind of get behind and say is pretty cool.
Yes.
So, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers watching, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got, Suze.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks
cool.
for coming on.
Have a great, rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, David. That was David Shapiro. His information was below him. You can follow him. You can support him if you want. I'm not as passionate about that as the other two. Anyway, that was the show. Thank you to Clifton. Thank you to Chelsea. Thank you to David Shapiro. Thank you to Jesse. Thank you to Stab. Thank you to you guys for watching this 55th episode of the Suzette Veneti Show. We'll be back next week on May 16th at 5:03. We'll pick up that conversation on performers that we finished today. So, see you guys next week.
The city's your playground. I watch you take a bite. At 5 a.m. roaming the streets, drunk all night. You think you're hot shit, and ooh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah. Stumbling, but yeah, you're still looking hella fun. Keep doing what you're doing, I'ma make you mine.
Touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start format.